Hi, so I changed a beautiful forest to this urban scene a few years ago. It's not easy. So it's Sunday, first day of the week, the last week before the holidays, and we don't know there's going to be full closure. But I wanted to talk about Netflix that saves me right now, and I think Netflix saves a lot of people during this difficult closure time into being a little bit brain dead as you need to be. So now we're encountering he has to remove his truck and he doesn't do it immediately. So let's see. The current YouTube debate is Cuties, a movie that has been promoted by this. I don't think I would have even looked at the trailer had there not been this discussion. So first of all, is this controversy promoting it? And before I say my opinion, I'll ask questions. Should 11-year-old girls be twerking? And what is the definition of a child? If a girl has a body of a woman, is she a child? If she already has breasts and has developed to look like a mature woman, is she a child? That's the question. So the answer for me is the gap between the brain and the body, that an 11-year-old can be maybe physically mature, like a kitten can be physically mature. Right. At a certain age, but cannot be mature. And
יש לעטות מסכות ולהקפיד על תיקוף כרטיס הרב-קו.
the point I'm making, which other people have not, is sorry to pay. It's absolutely impossible. Absolutely impossible. I know. All the same. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay. And 2 points that other people have not made on YouTube. Point 1, is it okay to show women in a sexualized way twerking? Let's say the girl is 15 or 16 or 17 or 20 or 30. Is that okay? My thinking, no. And there's another argument from a different point of view. I don't know if you've noticed it, if you paid attention to something very interesting that happened to the image of women, the body image of women. So during the 50s, there were Hollywood, or 40s, Hollywood portrayed women as having a female figure, without getting into details. Marilyn Monroe is all I have to say. And there are other actresses that didn't kill themselves. They were also very feminine looking. And then all of a sudden something happened in the 60s, and all of a sudden women became boy-like, twiggy. And it was in fashion to have a body that looked like a young boy. And if you ask for pedophile pointers for what would attract pedophiles and would encourage them, it's portraying women, the image of an ideal woman as a young boy or as a young girl before puberty. So you're flat-chested, thin, and this is the ideal still today if you look at commercials. Of course, that is connected to also eating disorders, and there's a whole bunch of arguments that if you read feminist writing about how women are expected to look like 12-year-old girls or 11-year-old girls, whether it's shaving hair, whether it's makeup that's made to make a woman look rosy cheeked like a child, or big eyes, making women look like a child, like a girl before puberty. So why don't we talk about that when we argue about presenting these girls in that movie? So it goes into a much deeper argument. I think it's good that this argument comes up, but then we have to take a look at the models and who's the ideal woman, what is the image of the ideal woman, and why it's not okay to look feminine, why we have to be thin and flat-chested. And there's this transgender. I watched a scientific film the other night about transgenders, and I've also spent a few hours with a friend. Well, I wouldn't call it somebody I know from the area where I live who's transgender, who appears like a woman but has a masculine voice, and he or she, I call her she constantly because in our language we have male and female constantly. So I always call her she to respect her. She wears long hair and makeup and high heels and dresses. But she says she will never undergo surgery because it's too dangerous. And so after having spoken to her and said, wow, that's a refreshing point of view. You don't have to undergo surgery or take hormones. You can identify as a woman or man without that, because it's something more psychological. She spoke about how difficult it is for her, and I felt bad if I said anything to her transgender people. It's not about transgender identity. It's about how you present men and women, and it's about cutting off body parts. And there was a woman.
בית החולים איכילוב, ויצמן, נוסעים יקרים, יש לעטות מסכות ולהקפיד על תיקוף כרטיס הרב-קו.
While I agree that you can change identity, like from male, female, I think it's not something in sexual preference. I don't know what. It is possible, I think. My problem is with the promoting of this and showing this woman how happy she is after they cut off her breasts. And I mean, what message does that send girls and women? And those videos are all over YouTube. So forget Netflix. Let's ask YouTube, why are you helping promote the image of women, the destruction of the image of women?
בית החולים איכילוב, ויצמן.
If you have a problem with your body image, then you have to undergo surgery to remove it. And this is major surgery. This is life-threatening surgery. It's under full anesthesia. Let's have no doubt about that. It's not a simple operation. It's not like pulling out it's not even like pulling out your tooth, which is also pretty major. So it's a major body part. And then, oh, I'm so happy I have a flat chest, you know. But, you know, I was thinking how many women in our society wanted to look like that. As women even. So to present the destruction of the human body as something positive and necessary, well, here you go. I met somebody this weekend, and she doesn't want to change her body. She's afraid of surgery, and she can't afford it either. She's not a millionaire, and here it's not that easy as in the US to undergo, or Canada, to undergo surgery. And to hear people saying, save my life. You know, what we believe we are is very strong. If you believe that you need surgery in order to save your life, then it's going to be that way. This is the reality. But the question is why insurance companies accept that. And I really understand now how feminists speak out against this trend of promoting surgery as the only solution to fix a problem you have with your body image, with your brain not being not going along with your body, that you feel like a male, let's say, and you're female, or you feel like a female and you're male. And there's some people who are really exaggerated. I mean, there's one of them, it's like all about narcissism and me in a bodybuilding contest. And this person lives in California where there's fires all over. Also other channels. I find it's very odd that people live in an area where we have a major epidemic, and on top of which California has the worst wildfires ever. People have been killed, a baby, a child, a mother, people died in these fires, and yet nothing. It's all about, I'm going to a bodybuilding contest in 28 days. Please support me in my narcissistic ways. YouTube has to really monitor the videos and not allow everybody to say everything, not to promote self-harm, because it's okay to be transgender, gay, whatever you want, but self-harm is another level. And with the cuties film is nothing compared to how people present women in media and commercials. I mean, is it okay to sexualize women's body, and it's okay to promote self-harm and cutting off body parts? So maybe you should scrutinize YouTube before you go after Netflix. I'm not saying that film is in any way good, but look at the big picture is what I'm saying. Is it okay to present women in a certain way when they're older? Or is it okay to present women that are not happy with their bodies and then, let's just cut off parts we don't like and put up other ones, and then I found happiness this way. And many, many young people, I see so many young people reacting or creating this content, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, these are really young people. They're really young. They're like 20, 18, sometimes younger, especially with the jazz. This girl that's been transitioning for years, and you wonder, I mean, kids have a hard time thinking what to major in college, and yet they make a life-changing, life-altering decision that could change the rest of their life. And then anyone who criticizes it is considered racist. So what's going on? Why are we not able to have an open debate about it without people jumping on you and presenting you as racist? This is the problem. There's a big problem with open debates. And I think especially in the US, people are going to extremes, left, right, black, white, against transgenders, for transgenders, without anything in between. Everything is very extreme. What I think is a person who speaks about him or herself while the environment is burning around it and pretending that he's the center of the world, certainly not a good role model, certainly not a coach, certainly not a video provider somebody should watch. It's just not healthy. It's just not good for young people to have this hogwash. So what do you think? I look to your comments, and thank you for letting me talk. Let's hope we're going here full closure. Schools are shutting down. I'm concerned about that. Probably on Wednesday. And there are many social issues that are not being addressed because all these scandalous topics are taking over, where there's so many major issues that are not being addressed. And how we deal with coronavirus is one of them. It's really devastating for children and for businesses, for everything when closed down, when you're shut down. And Is it an epidemic when we have thousands of people, 1,000 people died since it began last spring? And it's hit us hard lately. We have a lot of cases, and I still wonder if it's worth destroying the livelihood of people. Because frankly, I don't have a job. I have no idea where I'm going to get money from. Definitely not from this country. So, and the children need school to have normality and afterwards it's so difficult to go back to the rhythm. And the parents that have young children, difficulty going to school and also to work, and also children need supervision up to a certain age. So it's a very complicated issue that needs addressing too, and I don't see that being addressed on YouTube because it's not a scandalous issue. So why only scandalous issues? Why only freak shows hitting YouTube like a house on fire? Why don't we talk about an issue that affects a lot of people? Why are we only talking about issues that affect a small minority and make it look like it's a problem, everyday household? So what are we going to do about this epidemic? What are we going to do about the images of women in society and how women are presented in films, social media? What are we going to do about that? Is wearing lipstick and high heels what makes a woman a woman? And why is it okay to present an adult woman in a certain disrespectful way? Please, I know.